If you had to ask what is the hardest game mode in Fire Emblem Heroes, the answer, without a doubt, would be Summoner Duels Ranked. Only the best players can make it to rank 1 in this cutthroat, unforgiving game mode. So I spent the past 8 months allocating my orbs to assemble the perfect squad. 1 team, 4 lives. This is how I got rank 1 in Summoner Duels R. This SDR season, the map is Towering Walls, and the captain skills are Erosion, Effulgence, and Storm of Blows. First, let's discuss the map. Towering Walls is very open, and high mobility teams will thrive here. The lack of trenches and noteworthy forest tiles let cavalry units run rampant. The only thing stopping the enemy cav line from steamrolling your team is the mixture of breakable and unbreakable blocks in the center. Guidance 4 teams will want to break these blocks to take advantage of warping, while Pathfinder teams will break these blocks on the outskirts. Either way, we'll have to be extra careful when breaking any sort of block here. Patience is the name of the game. But now, it's time for the fun part. In order to craft the perfect team, I needed 3 things: speed control, cancel control, and bolt control. For any competent Summoner Duels team, having a unit with high speed is crucial. With monsters like running around, we need someone who won't get one-rounded. Luckily, I have just a unit for the job.
Come here. Let me squeeze you.
Released less than a week before SDR started, Nerthus would be the perfect counter to God Swords and the like. But to really make her shine in SD, I've opted for a Miracle build with Quicken Pulse. As a 4 cooldown special, Miracle gives Nerthus 13 to all stats, the maximum she can get from her weapon. Combine that with Attack Speed Clash, Fruit of Life, and Alarm Attack Speed, she's reaching an effective 89 speed. Oh, but we don't stop there. Much better. Finally, the synergy between Miracle and Fruit of Life is downright stupid. Nerthus can deal ridiculous amounts of damage on a counterattack, all while surviving due to her high speed. But in order to get that Miracle up and running, I needed some way of pre-charging it. Enter Duo Chrom and Duo Asker. Chrom is the glue that holds this team together. Hardy Bearing and Special Spiral 4 provide a necessary check against Vantage Altina, and Cancel Control is just a must-have skill for SD. To change fate and Quicken Pulse take 2 charges off of Nerthus' Miracle, which is where Asker comes into play. Open Domain and the Duo button provide the final 2 charges. Now, our team has a very strong offensive core, and it's time we choose a far save.
To think a day would come when we could enjoy ourselves like this.
Who else but none other than Duo Duma. Since Flash of Steel is not in the current rotation, we can afford to run Warding Stance for that extra guard effect. And since we're getting so many special charges from Asker, Duma will also be running Miracle as his special. Dragon Wall protects him from AoE damage, but most importantly, his duo skill allows both himself and Nerthus to live a second life. Last, but certainly not least, our final team member is Duo Thor, the quintessential Summoner Duels unit. She inflicts a lot of pressure on the enemy team through stall and exposure. Her duo skill can completely transform the way a match is going, and as an added bonus, her high attack stat lets her cut through most far saviors with an AoE special. And with those final 2 additions, our team is nearly complete. I've chosen Storm of Blows as my captain skill so that Nerthus can win even more speed matchups. But I needed more stats, so I did what any other person would, by proceeding to throw $50 at this game and commit polygamy so that all of my units could get an extra 13 stats. You know, this probably didn't matter, but I wasn't going to take any chances. Anyways, with that out of the way, it was finally time to play some matches. Now, I haven't touched this game mode in a pretty long time. Oh no. We are starting at tier 16, which means we need to play at least 28 matches? Oh, we are in it for the long haul. Part 1, Diamond in the Rough. Alright, let's get this thing started. I'm beginning at Platinum A, which, funnily enough, is a high enough tier to get top 1k rewards. But that's besides the point. We've got a lot of climbing to do, and I can't afford to make that many mistakes. Without a bonus unit on my team, I really only get 2 losses before I'm done. By moving their Dimitri to the left, my opponent straight up gives me an opening. Their build, to say the least, is pretty confusing. They get no speed from their A or B slots, and their captain skill is Erosion. Yeah, this person was trying to be way too creative, and it didn't work out for them. Duma lives by the skin of his teeth, and we can heal back all that HP with the duo skill. It's a pretty toxic setup, but we're aiming for rank 1, so I gotta bring my A game.
Be careful. Let's talk about our feelings.
Ooh, this team takes me back to 2021, when you can honestly get away with any team composition in summoner duels. Nowadays, that's just simply not the case.
You can do it!
Ugh, please don't let me be the last to win. This guy needs to get rank 1. It's honestly incredible how this game's matchmaking works. One moment you're facing a gold player who thought they were in favor battles, and then the next the game decides to throw an Omega Whale at you whose only strategy they know is having more stats than you. But I digress. Dual Mark is gonna be a pest to deal with, and I don't have much matchup experience against him. In fact, you're gonna see how poorly I react to Mark's duo skill here. For those of you who don't know, Mark's duo skill inflicts Isolation, Guard, and Special Cooldown count +2 on my units. The special cooldown really hurts because 2 of my units rely on Miracle, but the worst part is definitely that nasty isolation, preventing me from using any movement assists for an entire turn. The correct play for me was to use Duma's duo skill to cleanse my team of these debuffs, but once again, I didn't really know how to react to Mark's duo skill, so I just panic buttoned Thor's duo button, which was a major mistake. Now that Duma is inflicted with Guard, Chrom is able to kill him for free without having to worry about Miracle. Now that my far save is gone, I need to start trading kills. The grand strategy buff from Chrom gives him just enough strength to defeat the opposing Chrom. I'm being extra careful to not throw Nerthuz in first because of Cordelia's dual strike, which could potentially break through my Miracle.
Your first dream.
Not very thoughtful.
lose.
Nerthuz is an absolute trooper for tanking that. If only this was Might of Myriad season, which Might of Myriads plus Nerthuz? Now that's a terrifying combination.
Further. I care not.
If you haven't guessed it by now, this match ends in a draw. I'm slightly okay with this outcome, but I still have to win 28 more matches. Draws like these are just wasting my time. I need to start crushing whomever I face. Oh, would you look at that? Our first Brave Seliph and Brave Chrom. Get used to seeing them. Cause just like mosquitoes on a hot summer day, these guys are gonna be omnipresent from here on out.
How about this?
Now this is a Summoner Duels team, if I do say so myself. But I know exactly how to play against this team. Duo Dogger, you don't scare me. Brave Seliph, don't even try me. They're playing checkers, I'm playing Summoner Duels. Come at me.
Nice start.
They've activated Dogger's duo skill and have set up their conga line. Luckily for me, I have Cancer Control on my side. Their impatience has led them to kill my duo Thor with Chrom, but that doesn't matter. They've given me the perfect opportunity to kill back with Nerthuz, securing me with an extra captain point.
My sister.
Having exhausted their Pathfinder button, my opponent has no easy way of getting in. They could break that block of Seliph, but that's just more fuel for my Nerthuz.
No dreams today.
I had more to give.
The Change Fate grants Chrom just enough mobility to revenge kill Carla. With all their melee threats gone, it's checkmate. Duma has more than enough bulk to survive Dogger and Mark.
A token of our thanks.
Let's keep it together.
Be careful.
The feeling of the wind.
Duma, you've done your job. Now it's time to retreat.
Happy?
New Year.
Well, it was only a matter of time until we faced one of these teams. Using a raid boss is a very risky strategy in SDR, doubly so on this map where you can't easily smite in your Omni tank to start killing things.
Take this strength.
Happy?
New Year.
The strategy to counter this team is to rotate around the raid boss and take out the supports one by one. So I shuffle my units south in order to intercept the enemy Asker and Robin. By threatening those two units, I'm forcing my opponent to take their attention away from Altina and use up their actions by moving their support units. Unfortunately, Nerthus can't take out Asker just yet, but we can still get some valuable chip damage in. Thankfully, Duma has just enough sustain to buy us some time.
I'll watch over you.
I can go ahead and pop the duo skill to let Duma live another round of combat. Meanwhile, Altina still hasn't done anything. She's really just dead weight at this point, as I'm funneling all of my units away from her.
I care not.
Turn 3 and I get the first move. Since Asker is inflicted with exposure, Nerthus can properly finish him off. Taking out the rest of the team just got way easier.
Enjoy yourselves.
For my friends!
Impossible.
Felicitations.
My opponent finally starts moving their Altina in, but it's just too late. She's too far away to get the grand strategy buff, so Special Spiralophore gets the kill.
A gift for you.
And with the raid boss down, the rest of the match is easy cleanup.
Do not ruin this.
I must not lose.
Alas and alack.
Next up is a team that counters mine pretty well. AoE Lind has no issues taking out Nerthus, and that's one of her biggest flaws, as Fruit of Life's damage reduction doesn't extend to AoE damage. Add on the fact that she has erosion, and that makes it even harder to play around. As per my normal opening, I swapped Thor with Asker, but I was kinda hoping he would live against Alir. That's completely fine though, as I get to keep my Thor, whose duo button was absolutely paramount in giving Nerthus enough speed to finish off Alir.
A nice breeze.
And a spot of shade.
Vile.
Easy now.
Even against a +10 Alir, Nerthus still gets it done. That's the power of getting a whole 13 speed from your weapon alone. Lind is now able to get the revenge kill on Nerthuz, so I pull her back with Thor. This was important so that Lind wasn't under the protection of Hector's far save, allowing Chrom to kill her back.
Think of the plan. Let's talk about our feelings.
The game's all tied up now. I stall out my action with a duo skill to wait and see what my opponent would do. But they proceed to make a very bold move by advancing Asker into my attack range. The problem with this move is that Hector just doesn't live against Thor. The match easily could have been a draw, but my opponent got a bit too overzealous and advanced when they didn't need to.
Be careful. Let's talk about our feelings. I'll put an end to this. Think of the plan. Will this do?
And we're back to the conga lines. Thankfully, they don't have harsh command, so Seliph is completely hampered by stall for this opening.
Vile.
Easy now.
They use Dogger's duo skill, and I immediately react with Thor's duo skill. Normally, you shouldn't do this and be a bit more patient than I was, but it actually works out for me because their Asker pathfinds all the way to the center, which essentially gives me a free kill.
Happy New Year!
Now that Dogger's duo skill is gone and Asker is dead, my opponent has lost all momentum and can't really go in against my team.
Enjoy yourself.
Duma is just way too strong, and Canto Control prevents them from safely killing any of my other units.
Further.
Asker somehow survives this, which I cannot believe. Nerthuz can now do what she does best, and punish the evil known as Brave Seliph.
Forward!
Finally, to rub salt in the wound, I ended off with a Duma duo skill, undoing all the damage they've done. Oof, this match I'm not too proud of. Spoiler warning, this match ends in a draw, but it didn't have to be that way. It's another Pathfinder team, but this time my opponent has positioned Seliph so that he doesn't get stalled by being too close to Asker. This is very important, and I should have held off from using Asker's duo skill. Reason being, I could have been one step ahead on my opening and had Nerthuz in this location by swapping her with Duma. Instead, I use up my first action with the duo button, which puts me behind on threatening space. My opponent can easily take out the Canto Control unit with Seliph, and here's where I make the biggest misplay. Simply put, I got too greedy. By revenge killing this Seliph, Nerthus takes way too much damage on the counterattack due to Ruptured Sky. Now, she's no longer above 25% HP, which means none of her effects are active. This gives the opposing Chrom the perfect opportunity to take a captain kill. Granted, Nerthus does an enormous amount of damage back, which lets Asker pick up the kill, but the game is tied now, and we've already seen several times how tied games play out. So instead of boring you guys with 3 turns of us playing chicken, instead let's analyze what I could have done better to secure the win. Like I said before, I didn't need to use Asker's duo skill so early. As a reference, here's what my opening normally accomplishes, at least without the Asker duo skill. First, I reposition Nerthus with Chrom, then Thor draws back Duma, who's receiving the Orders buff from her. Now, Duma can warp 2 spaces to swap Nerthus into position, and had I done that during this match, the enemy Dogger would have been threatened. Even if Chrom jumps in to kill Thor, Canto Control stops him from retreating, which lets Nerthus get the revenge kill. So there's mistake 1. But what could I have done for that huge misplay against Seliph? Simply end turn. I didn't need to do anything. Chrom is isolated, which means he can't pull back Seliph. Only 2 of their units are in the zone, so I wouldn't be missing out on zone points if I ended my turn. Right now, Chrom is getting so many stats from all the visible buffs and debuffs he has, but 2 of those are from Seliph, 3 if you count the isolation debuff. By ending my turn, Nerthus still would have been able to kill their Seliph and have enough speed to survive Chrom's attack. I really dropped the ball on this, and what would have been an easy victory led to an annoying draw. And now, we're back to Guidance 4 teams. Both of us open with our Asker duo skill, and the match can finally start.
New year. Vile.
Easy now.
They've broken the center block of Asker, which lets Tana warp into position. Guidance 4 lets the rest of their team leap into my territory, but as long as I can keep trading kills with my opponent, Guidance 4 really isn't that threatening for me, especially since Nerthus can't actually die in 1 round to any of their units. I go ahead and get the revenge kill with Nerthus, which puts me ahead by 1 point. Instead of using the Canto mobility to move Nerthus, I keep her in place so that she can't be targeted by the Tana nor Yuri, even with Guidance 4. It's pretty easy to play around this since I haven't broken the center block on my side of the field.
And a lack.
Do well or else.
It's the day of devotion. I'm excited.
I've slammed my opponent into a rough spot. Having 2 duo buttons and to change fate, I've taken full control of this game's action economy. None of their units have enough speed to break through Miracle. I can full send Nerthus without any worries.
That won't work! Don't dare underestimate me.
Now, my opponents reduce their HP to 1, but I can give them a choice. Kill my Nerthuz or kill my Thor. Well, they take out my Thor, but that was just an illusion of choice. It didn't matter what they did, Cancel Control stopped them right in their tracks.
Think of the plan. A gift for you.
Part 2. Becoming a Master. Man, I can't believe I've actually made it this far. We are 11 victories away from reaching Master Tier. Only then can I finally say I'm pretty decent at this game. No surprise, we're facing another conga line. But massive respect to my opponent here, who's playing this really patiently. In my earlier matches, previous opponents would hastily kill my Thor with Seliph, but immediately get shut down by Cancel Control.
Enjoy!
A nice breeze.
And a spot of shade.
As for my current opponent, they are
Further.
going in with Seliph anyways.
Alas and alack.
And then Cancel Control activates. You know what? I take back what I said. There's a good chance they were pressured by my lead in zone points after turn 1, so they decided to remove one piece off the board. Unfortunately for them, Seliph is just not fast enough to withstand Nerthuz. Now, their situation has become a lot worse. I've got to give credit where credit's due. This person is very ballsy with their moves. They just kind of throw Chrom in there, hoping he can survive Nerthuz, but that's just not gonna work.
See how they gaze?
Is something amiss?
My next opponent has a very awesome Duma build. Attack Red Scowl does indeed stack with his weapon. How necessary this is for survival is up for debate, but I would still love to have that skill on my Duma. Right here, I definitely got way too greedy. There was absolutely no need for me to kill Chrom with Nerthuz. She takes a lot of damage on the counterattack, and one big weakness of Nerthuz is that she doesn't get null follow-up unless she's above 25% HP. I don't know how I keep forgetting about this. Yep, and I immediately get punished for that.
Felicitations.
I had more to give.
So, there goes my captain, but we're ahead by zone points. More importantly, their team, besides Duma, is just a bunch of ranged attackers. After I took out their Chrom, they have no way of breaking through my Duma. So, perhaps it wasn't that bad of a play.
New year.
Using positionals, I can stall out some actions to wait and see what my opponent does. And what I see is them moving their nukes without moving their far save with them, leaving them completely vulnerable. To be honest, this team was just doomed before the match even started. Looking at their units, I don't think this is a bad team comp in the slightest. The only thing holding this team back is the very weird captain choice. Never say never, but you should never make your Farsafe armor the captain for your SDR team. In all team comps, the Farsafe armor is just there to soak up damage and give you some breathing room. If they're the captain, that just means you're giving out a free captain kill to your opponent. Rarely is an armored unit going to kill something. The only instances where I can see a Farsafe captain working is if you're running a Guidance 4 composition or your name is Summer Edelgard. But even then, you might as well make a ranged nuke your captain.
Don't forget to oil out.
Vile.
Easy now.
Do not ruin this.
Felicitations.
Think of the plan.
A gift for you.
Guys, you're not gonna believe this, but we're facing another Pathfinder team. You can absolutely tell this person is playing with their favorite characters.
New year.
Joking aside, we're facing another Mark, a unit that I don't know how to feel about. He seems like fantastic support and can hold his own in combat. I just wish that he was a fast mage instead. I'm honestly getting sick of all these min-max support mages. And part of that is because they're starting to out-res my Duma.
Lean on me. Always do.
My opponent and I are at a standstill. Neither of us want to approach, even though they're the Pathfinder team. We both use Thor's duo skill, and nothing of significance gets accomplished this turn. Just to stall out one more action to see what they do, I use Asker's duo skill, and my opponent gets really antsy and dives in with Seliph. Canto Control still gets him, but Nerthus can't reach. Until I swap her. It's incredible how almost every Pathfinder team has done the exact same thing, but on different terms. Going in with Seliph just to get punished.
Forward!
It's the final turn, and I'm ahead by 1 point. Hey, this feels familiar.
I care not.
Give it up for match number 14. This was by far my favorite battle of the run. I am a huge fan of the composition my opponent's running. I think it's a very well crafted team. Anyways, let's see how this plays out. Their Altina cantos to the front line, and her Guidance 4 extends Yuri's attack range, but Canto Control prevents him from going in and killing my Thor. I take an aggressive position by moving Nerthus to the south, but Erosion lets Yuri attack into her for free, consuming her Miracle Charge.
You're gonna love this.
I go ahead and heal back up with Duma's duo skill, which was perfect timing as Asker just completely obliterates him.
Enjoy yourselves.
Felicitations.
Impossible.
Now it's my turn to get a Captain Revenge kill. Although Asker has guard in his weapon, Nerthus counteracts that with Fruit of Life's built-in Null Guard, which fully recharges her Miracle special. My opponent chips away at Nerthus with Dogger, but notice how she inflicts gravity on her after combat. This becomes important later. Chrom comes in to kill my captain, but I can retaliate back and get the point lead.
Coming through!
I had more to give.
A new year.
Closes in. Further.
You're gonna love this.
Yuri is able to get a captain kill and retreat, being just out of range of Canto Control. But what's this? I draw back with Thor, and this is actually a safe move, because Dogger, if you remember, was inflicted with gravity all the way back on turn 2 from Nerthus. This allows Chrom to refresh his action and take out their Yuri, sealing the game in a victory for me.
It's the day of devotion. I'm excited.
Oh dear God. It looks like even our AI overlords are starting to catch on to the Summoner Duels meta. But hey, ChatGPT can't be that good at anime chess, right?
Vile.
Easy now.
Surprisingly, the AI knows to move Seliph out of the way of Asker to prevent him from getting stalled. That forces me to reposition Nerthus up in order to protect my Canto Control unit. Unfortunately for the bot, it's gonna take a lot more than that to break through my strategy.
We go together.
Keep it coming!
My sister.
Yes, Duma.
This should do it.
I had more to give.
Do not ruin this.
And yes, I know I'm not actually facing an AI, but I think at the time of the match, I somehow accidentally convinced myself that I was. Because I make the dumbest move ever by not moving Chrom out of Asker's attack range. It's so obvious that Asker is running Erosion, but I must have really thought I was facing a Kirin, who always runs suboptimal captain skills. Thankfully, Thor is able to recover from my mistake. Oof, I almost threw that.
You won't escape.
Impossible.
Further.
Felicitations.
Well, it was high time we faced another Master Tier player. Come on then, show us what you got.
New year. Vile.
Easy now.
Rather than refreshing Alear, my opponents opted to dance Robin. That gives me free agency to break the block of Chrom and let my opponent have a taste of the true power of Miracle Nerthuz.
Grant me strength.
With Alear gone, I get additional zone points, and Miracle allows Nerthuz to survive whatever my opponent does. I'm not gonna lie guys, this Master Tier player's got nothing on me. But boasting aside, this match really exemplifies how important team building is for SDR. Since every team only gets 5 slots, you really have to make each member count.
Take this strength.
Judging by my opponent's team, I would have never guessed this was a Master Tier player. And yes, that sounds offensive, but I really do mean it. Using an Omni tank like Alear and SDR just doesn't cut it in the upper echelons, where null damage reduction is guaranteed to be on every top level team. It also doesn't help their case that every unit but one is unmerged. Most significantly, their Omni tank in Alear is +0. She absolutely needs all the speed she can get. Unsurprisingly, this aspect of speed control is what makes SDR so cutthroat.
A nice breeze.
And a spot of shade.
Focusing back on the match at hand, Guidance 4 on Ingrid lets Robin warp in and take out Duma, which has been a common occurrence today. No matter, Nerthuz once again gets a captain kill for us. And to end us off, Special Spiral 4 on Asker breaks through Ingrid's guard bearing, leaving the enemy Asker all alone for Nerthuz to vanquish. Is this really what Master Tier gameplay looks like? Come on IS, show me a real opponent. Now that's more like it. 35 merges against my 6? I'd say we got a fair match in our hands. Let's take this whale down.
Happy?
New year. Vile.
Easy now. Lean on me. Always do.
I really need to watch out for that guidance for Katria, so I get my Thor into position to use my duo skill on her. This won't actually stop them from warping, but it at least lets me cleanse their entire team of the triangle attack buff.
I care not.
Duma's dual skill heals Nerthus back to full HP, but then I proceed to do a very hasty move. There was no world where Duma was surviving against a plus 10 Shez, so I shouldn't have moved my Nerthus in so early. Instead, the correct play was to scope out what pieces my opponent would move so I could react accordingly.
Be careful. Will this do? Not very thoughtful.
Thor's AoE attack brings Nerthus all the way down to 1 HP, and I'm forced to kill their Shez with her. Not exactly a position I'm too happy with. That one preemptive move of using to change fate on Nerthus cost me the entire game. If only I was a little bit more patient.
Felicitations.
Yes, and alack.
Happy?
New Year.
Felicitations.
I miss heat. A nice breeze.
And a spot of shade.
Well done, IS. You really showed me a worthy opponent. Except not really, because 3 of their units were plus 10. Are you serious? This loss shouldn't have counted. If I had plus 10 units, then I absolutely... I can't believe that last match. Whoever my next opponent is, I don't care. I'm unleashing my full rage on you. No holding back. Oh. An entire team of Echoes units? And they have a plus 10 Celica too? Aw man, now I'm gonna feel horrible after what I do to them. Sorry Tupelo, but it must be done. Prepare to get destroyed.
Shall we dance?
Phew. I feel calm and collected after that last match. It's always good to take a break when playing SDR, and for me that break was beating somebody just trying to use their favorites. But to each their own?
Right behind you. Vile.
Easy now.
You may be surprised to hear me say this, but I get very nervous when playing this game mode. Once I enter that matchmaking queue, my legs cannot stop shaking. It's gotten to the point where I've come up with my own breathing exercises in between matches.
I've got my
Do you guys think I can sue IS if I get a panic attack from this game mode?
See how they gaze?
Is something amiss?
Right behind you.
Oh, right, we're in a match. Well, nothing significant has happened, but on turn 3, I finally get my Asker into position to take out Dimitri, the only unit that Nerthus can't kill.
I care not.
They're able to kill my Asker, but after that, I'm guessing my opponent was just done with this game. Hey man, I respect it. If the match is as boring as this one, I would surrender too. Except not, because, well, you know. Match number 20. Can you guys believe it's been 20 matches? Well, we still have a long way to go until Master Tier. But anyways, my opponent has invested into what I like to call the Scam Rises units. Those being Duocorn and Harmonic Azura, who are featured on the Hero Rises 2022 banner. Now, say what you will about arena scoring or Ether Raid's value, but I firmly believe that that banner was so much worse than it could have been. All I'm trying to say is, a lot more people would be out here with plus 10 Duo Doggers rather than Duo Corrin. What the fey? Anyways, match 20, let's see. Oh, Nerthus is enemy phasing a Brave Erica? Okay, let's go. Erica, you're so past your prime. But now, it's my turn.
Think of the plan. A gift for you.
Some have asked me, how did I get so good at summoner duels? Well, I'd say it came naturally to me. Take this match for instance. Obviously, I could have positioned Asker better, but that's because I didn't want to trade my... 6,400 glory. Everybody, we are one match away from achieving the Master D rank.
Vile.
Easy now.
We're facing another Pathfinder team with Erosion Yuri, a sort of amalgamation of the compositions we've seen thus far. I place my Thor into position to use the duo skill, and my opponent goes ahead and uses their own Thor's AoE special to whittle down Nerthus.
Enjoy yourselves.
This play forces me to use Duo's duo skill to heal back up, which in turn allows them to use Thor's duo skill to inflict gravity on 3 of my units.
Is something amiss?
Starting off turn 3, I go ahead and use my Thor's duo skill, but my opponent responds very well by using Dogger's duo skill right after.
Off to a nice start.
Chrom repositions Yuri, and I take this as an opportunity to threaten some space. Bringing Nerthus down forces Yuri to retreat, which lets my Thor get into the zone. Neither me nor my opponent want to make the first move, since we both know whoever goes in first is just gonna get punished by the captain. I noticed their Dogger hanging in front of the center block, so I used Thor's action to break it, forcing them to retreat. This works out very well for me, as Dogger's Pathfinder is what I consider their win condition here. Now it's turn 5, and my opponent has the first move. Because I still have one more duo skill and they have none left, I get to stall an extra action. I can wait until all of the enemy units have ended turn, which lets Nerthus break the tie by swapping with Asker and killing their Crom. This, my friends, is why duo skills are extremely broken in this game mode. But now, we've reached Master Tier, and there's only one thing left to do. It is time for Part 3, the climb to rank 1. Feels good to finally be up here. We just need to win 9 matches. Okay, Patrick, let's focus. We got this.
New year.
No surprise, our first match is against yet another Pathfinder team. But despite their low rank, this player is by far the best user of this team comp we've seen so far. Their turn 1 opening is very oppressive, as both Crom and Seliph break the blocks on the top and bottom respectively. Now on turn 2, the enemy team is covering nearly the entire map. After weighing my options, I decide to go in and kill their Crom with Nerthus. Thankfully this time, I made sure Nerthus was above 25% HP after combat. Nerthus' Miracle Special is still active, so none of the enemy units can kill her. It'll take the combined effort of multiple team members to take her down. Their Asker goes ahead to bring her down to 1 HP, but here's where I make the worst mistake in my life. Rather than using Thor's duo skill to get rid of Seliph's extra movement, I freaking used Duma's duo skill!
We go together.
I had more to give.
To say the least, the nerves got to me, and I didn't properly calculate how many spaces Seliph could move. What with all the Pathfinder and bonus movement shenanigans going on. It sucks even more that Seliph barely got that kill too. It was just one button. All I need to do was click one button, but of course I pressed the wrong one. Damn it, what a rookie mistake.
Think of the plan. A gift for you.
To proper beginnings.
Not very thoughtful.
Don't forget to oil up.
I miss heat.
Happy?
Well, mistakes were certainly made this match, but I can only lose one more time. Things just got a lot more interesting. Oh joy, another Pathfinder team. Just what I wanted to see after that embarrassing loss. Although, this opponent does seem less, how do I put it, adept than my previous one. Their opening is all over the place compared to the amazing one we saw earlier. The game plan here is to find the perfect opportunity to go in with Nerthus. However, Selif's Blazing Wind special makes that a bit difficult to accomplish. I do have Asker, who gets an enormous amount of damage reduction against AoE specials, so if push comes to shove, I could always use him to tank Selif and allow Nerthuz to get a revenge kill. After that, nothing on their team is breaking through her.
Further. Felicitations.
Asker stands his ground against Selif, but takes a lot more damage than I was expecting from Blazing Wind. But for some reason, my opponent doesn't move Selif to a different space. For those of you who don't know, Holy Tide Tearfing is just a 16 might killing edge if no one moves any spaces. Had my opponent attacked below Asker, he might have killed him. That was very questionable. I guess they really wanted Selif to canto back to his teammates and leave the rest to Chrom, but now Nerthuz can net us an extra captain point. I go ahead and end my turn so that we can get the first action and finish off Selif. But I've gotta say, Duma living this on 1 HP is by far the highlight of the match. Now that Selif no longer has Blazing Wind active, I can safely kill Asker and not have to worry about Nerthuz dying. Sort of ironic how I lost to the gold rank player with no merges, but I absolutely crushed this diamond player who has merges and fodder galore. Funny how that works. Alright, we're starting to mix things up here with a team of 4 ranged attackers followed by a near save. In theory, this sounds strong and could work, but in practice, I'm not too sure about that. Having a far save armor just offers your team so much breathing room that you can play much more aggressively than if you didn't have one. A near save just doesn't offer that same amount of flexibility. My opponent goes for the greedy play and breaks the block of Shez, hoping she can vantage her way out of this. But without that effective damage, Shez is not breaking through Asker. If only they had a far save. Which would still not help in this scenario, but the point still stands. Maybe.
I will watch over you.
Lean on me. Always do. It's the day of devotion. I'm excited.
From taking a hit from Chrom and now eating 2 hits from Yuri, Duma has definitely proven himself in being an invaluable member to this team. I just hope his insurance can cover for all the pain he's receiving.
A new year.
Closes in.
Now, I know what you're about to say, but hear me out. I've been playing SDR for 4 hours straight. No one deserves to suffer through that, and I think I should get a few freebies. Wait, what do you mean you're gonna dislike the video? No, please, I promise the remaining matches are really intense. No, don't leave me! Ah, my favorite type of SDR opponent. One who uses their highly merged favorites that have no synergy with each other. Sure, the individual pieces may be strong, but the team as a whole suffers from lack of cohesion.
Here, this'll help.
Now that I have a 2 zone point lead, I've basically won the match. So to spice things up, I become the aggressor and try to win this as quickly as I can.
You watching?
Just to assert my dominance, I move Thor 2 spaces in front of Ephraim as he's being extra crippled by stall. It's really a shame, and I kind of feel bad taunting my opponent like that.
Let's talk about our feelings.
In a last-ditch effort, my opponent advances Altina, but Asker here is gonna show her a little magic trick, and that's converting 0 damage to 38.
By these twin blades.
I think she needs another demonstration. Do it again.
See how they gaze?
Is something amiss?
Think of the plan. Let's talk about our feelings.
Next up is a Vantage Altina team with Asker and Eliwood as support. In the past, I've lost my fair share against Vantage teams. Heck, even Legendary Sheeta caught me off guard once. But now, I'm not scared of you. We've received a plethora of ways to counter this strategy, and you can bet my team is not going to lose to that. Their Altina jumps in and attacks Duma, but Thor's Worldbreaker charges Duma's Miracle and saves his life.
Grant me strength.
Unfortunately for my opponent, Special Spiral 4 and Hardy Bearing is a hard check against Altina. Looks like my next opponent didn't want to buy the Golden Meek Duo Dogger pack. Kudos to them for using Note instead. With Effulgence, she's actually getting a ton of speed. Although her kit could be better optimized, as Chrom is already giving her no follow-up from Infantry Speed Tactic, so she could absolutely run a different Sacred Seal. Their Seliph moves down, and it's pretty easy to tell my opponent wants to get Chrom off the field. So in classic fashion on this very slow-paced map, we play a little game of Ring Around the Rosie, where the Rosie in this case is the collection of blocks in the center. I use Chrom's duo skill to both stall out a turn and give Asker just a little bit more bulk, but he still dies to Seliph, who is reaping the full benefit of his weapon by moving 4 spaces. You already know the routine. Cancel Control prevents Seliph from retreating, and Nerthuz can put him in his place. Now that I'm ahead, my opponent needs to find an opening, which I very much respect. Fight till the end. This is what Summoner Duels is all about. Even with all that speed, their note is no match for Nerthuz. Speed demons, beware. She's coming for you. Gravity from Fruit of Life prevents Chrom from attacking, and Duma can warp in and get this kill. Since their Chrom never copied null follow-up from Note, Storm of Blows lets Duma make a guaranteed follow-up. Man, I freaking love the synergy of this team. Every skill has its purpose, and we're seeing that in full force on this turn. Azura refreshes Corrin, but she's just within range of cancel control, allowing Thor to pile on the damage.
Do well or else.
It's time for the penultimate match. Our opponent has sold their dignity and has brought not just Lucia, but also legendary Robin. May their soul rest in peace, as Nerthuz is gonna do what she does best. Robin breaks the center block, but with no Far Savior on their team, Thor snags us a free kill. But, you know, who would have expected less from someone who uses legendary Robin, am I right? Ninian boldly goes in against Nerthuz, but she simply doesn't output enough damage to even activate her miracle. Yeah, this unit is insane. Even if she can't counter, that 40% damage reduction is so nice to have. Now, this combat forecast might seem confusing. Clearly, Ninian is outspeeding Nerthuz, but the Storm of Blows captain skill still comes in clutch and lets her make a follow-up, which she otherwise had no right getting. Hey, remember all that damage Ninian did? Well, let's pretend that never happened. Thanks, Duma.
I will watch over you.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Someone timestamp it. At the 1 hour, 18 minute, 44 second mark, Lucia dies. Comrades, this journey has been a long and arduous one for us. But now, our final battle approaches. Together, we have suffered the insufferable. We have overcome the insurmountable. We have achieved the impossible. And what lies before us is the coveted title of Rank 1. Now, who's with me? the battle for rank 1.
Happy
New Year.
It's the day of devotion. I'm excited.
Further.
Felicitations.
With Fire Emblem Heroes, satisfaction comes in many forms. For some, that may be derived from collecting their favorites. For others, simply indulging in the plethora of game modes is all that is necessary to have a good time. But as for myself, I sought to tackle the greatest challenges Fire Emblem Heroes had to offer. Those, of course, being Summoner Duels Ranked and Summoner Duels Survival. The glory and accessories that come with achieving rank 1 may seem minute in the grand scheme of this gacha game, but what this pursuit to become the very best offered me was a purpose to how I played. While Summoner Duels may not be everyone's cup of tea, the time I spent analyzing this game mode has certainly been the most fun I've had with Fire Emblem Heroes.